All right, worldwide movement, peace, love, respect. Big King Sadiq chiming in. So, still smiling, still out in the world, walking around, doing my thing, right? Listen, folks, like I said, everyone who is willing to embrace higher vibrational frequency resonance is able to rise above all of this madness right now, right? Uh, you know, I'm not even going to feed into a lot of time being taken up describing the current world state, right? We all know what's going on. Uh, there are those who might say, well, we can theorize about some alternate explanations of exactly what's going on. And I could do that too. But why? When in reality, what really matters is what we perceive, is what we express to existence, to this universe that we live in, is what we express our reality to be, right? Well, what do you mean by that, Big King Sadiq? So listen, folks. This is not all just conjecture, right? I told you before, we have clear scientific evidence of the incredible power that human beings possess to impact the material world with your intentions, with your thoughts, with your very emotional state, right? We all operate, human beings, I mean, we all operate with an electromagnetic field around us, quite literally. It's referred to as our biosphere, right? This field has several different layers, many different layers, right? Each extending further and further from your physical body, okay? This is not mysticism, right? This isn't, certainly isn't anything religious or spooky, right? This isn't just unsubstantiated claims. This in reality is rather simple science, right? And then not so simple science where you start to get into the quantum ramifications of what I'm talking about. But our energy, our biosphere, and the intent and the intensity of that intent is what in large part shapes this reality. It's almost as if the universe were one big printer that operates similar to how the 3D printers operate. You know, you input the specs of what you want it to print out, and boom, it prints out something actually in the physical, in 3D, right? Okay. So we need to understand that our energetic expression manifests in the physical very much the same way. The universe itself, right? Particularly that incredible stuff up there that we call dark matter, right? When we look out into what is referred to as space, that dark matter is very much to us like the ink of that 3D printer, right? Uh, our influence, our intention, when concentrated intensely enough, manifests into physical reality and I guess most simplistically described as waveform. Our intentions affect particles of matter, and the wave patterns that are formulated, right, to make up the universe, the multiverse that we experience. Well, how can that be? There's so many of us, and we all must not want the same thing at the same time. Certainly not, but that's why we're referred to as co-creators, right? When you're in your own little area, you're creating on the solo. You get around another human being, then you're both creating a shared experience at the same time. Whether you know it or not, you don't have to like get together and have a little powwow and say, hey, let's create a bridge to walk over, although that might be in the sphere of possibility. But even just when you're walking down the street, the impact of your biosphere and the different outer layers of that interact with the outer layers of the next person's biosphere, whether they're walking down the street, whether they're driving past, whether they're paying attention to you or not. Both of your biospheres are impacting the material world that you are experiencing. Again, folks, I'll say experiencing because we are just that. We are energetic beings or spiritual beings, whichever way you like to phrase that, manifesting a material, physical experience. And that's what life is, right? It's an opportunity for our spirits or our energetic selves. And jot this down if you like. King Sadiq spouts on the meaning of life. True indeed, right? Because the whole purpose of all of this, right, is spiritual maturity. Maturing that energetic being that experiences this reality as it interfaces in this physical reality using your physical body. That's right, folks. You are an energetic being or spiritual being utilizing your physical body to interface with this physical reality. Okay? And the whole point of this reality, the reason you created it, why we all co-created, right? The reason our creator created us to be creators is so that we could put ourselves through this process. A means for us to grab the ultimate education, folks, right? A means for us to experience this life, which is an opportunity for us to mature spiritually, right? We experience, we learn, we grow, and we mature. That was rude. I didn't speak to those folks. Hey, folks, have a great day. Peace, love, respect. I don't ever want to be so self-absorbed that I neglect my duties in spreading peace, love, respect. All right. So, yes, our Creator created us as, for lack of a different description, little creators, right? Who go out into the cosmos and give the universe the input that we express in order for us to experience, learn, grow, mature, right? That's the purpose of all this. Experience, learn, grow, mature. Life is just a big collection of experiences. Hey folks, peace, love, respect. Just a big collection of experiences through which we learn, right? Hopefully, if we're paying enough attention. We grow from those lessons that we learn, right? And with that growth, comes maturity, right? And that's what this life is all about. If you were wondering, and if you're somebody who's walking around, or who's sitting there, or who has ever wondered to themselves, and collectively, I think we've all sort of asked or pondered the question, the meaning of life. Well, now you heard it from Big King Sadiq. True that. And if you folks find it to be different, then that's beautiful, right? Because like I've said before, and many a wise person has said, it's about us all finding our own truths, right? But I believe if you search yourself inwardly, that is something that will resonate with many of us, right? Is that this manifestation is an opportunity for us to experience, learn, grow, and mature, right? So each lifetime is recorded in your Akash, right? Or rather your Akashic record. By the way, your Akash is only a record in that it's recording everything that you experience, everything that you learn from those experiences, every different way that you grow from what you've learned, and the result is how you mature, right? But also your Akash does include, encapsulate the possibilities, or another way of saying it may be the results or ramifications of our choices, right? Of what we choose, either consciously or subconsciously, to express to the universe so that the universe can manifest that as our reality. All that is contained in your Akash. Each individual is certainly the source of projection, of intent, right? Or choosing, again, whether it's conscious, subconscious, either way, you are always creating your own reality, right? And the record of what you chose is your Akashic record. But all of the possibilities of what you could choose are within your Akash as well, right? And of course, you wouldn't refer to that as a record because you haven't made that choice for it to happen, for you, for it to be recorded yet. So it's potential, right? We can say to ourselves that or we could describe that rather as potential outcomes. I've heard it described as potential timelines, right? But the bottom line is it's all the potential outcomes that can result from the choices of what we give to the universe to create for us. Okay, this experience was that, it yielded these lessons, you learned this, you matured in this way, bam, right? This different choice, same thing. Next choice, same thing. There's no limit, right? Because how is there a limit on choices? The only limit on your choices is your imagination. Now all this starts to slip a little bit into the quantum realm and really get us getting into some metaphysical explanations of what we pretty much have in many instances had a very mundane understanding of the reality in which we live. But that's changing, right? This is the age for it to change. It was always meant to happen this way at this time, right? Because this is the reality that we chose to get here. All of us who are experiencing this today. And the choices you make right now will forge the reality that you experience tomorrow, right? Both on a conscious and unconscious level. How you perceive things, how you react to those perceptions. Which brings me right back to what we're going through right now. You know, we can choose to sit in front of the TV, sucking in every bit of dark and gloomy news that they can produce for us. And I say they, because if you don't know by now, over 85% of the news that you take in is controlled by I think it's like 5 corporations, something like that. So it's definitely a coordinated effort to steer the perception of the masses through multimedia, right? And that's just one source or arm of multimedia that your perception is controlled by, or at least that's how it's meant for it to happen. We can choose to sit and absorb all that all day, which is essentially someone else telling you what to perceive. They're telling you what choice to make in terms of what you're going to give out in terms of your intent and what experience you're going to call for the universe to manifest for you. If you sit and absorb these different forms of multimedia that are meant to steer you in that way, then that's exactly what's going to happen. Remember, you are creating all of this, right? And again, I know that can be something that the average person is going to say, hey man, why in the world would I ever imagine or put myself through the pain that I've gone through in life? First of all, that's a misnomer, right? It's only your immature self that tells you you'll never experience anything that is not pleasing to you. Life is more than just pleasure, right? And you can find lessons in many different things. Unfortunately, it does take oftentimes a negative experience to be impactful. Sometimes we're hard-headed, folks. That's the bottom line. Sometimes human beings are very stubborn and hard-headed, and it takes some things to shake us for us to learn. But we still do learn one way or the other, right? One lifetime or the next, you will learn eventually. And the folks that learn in that particular lifetime are the folks who sort of graduate the course, right? The folks who move on to the next level of experience, right? And really, it's not as fanciful as it may seem. I'm just talking about different paradigms and how those paradigms come into existence within our sphere of reality and how we impact that on a metaphysical and quantum level, right? So, again, understand that we have a choice in all this. We can sit back, become paranoid, and accept how other individuals would like to shape the reality you're going to experience, or you can stop, set your own intention, think about, visualize the reality that you want to experience, and manifest. It's that simple. But it takes for us to put concentration and intent. Folks, you have no idea how powerful your concentrated thought is. Many who walk in occultic circles have some idea of that, right? Many of those who embrace these so-called secret societies, right? Many who would withhold information from the average person or from the public are fully aware of this. They're not sleeping on you. You're sleeping on you. They're not lost on the fact of how important you are, each and every individual I'm talking to, that is. That's not lost on them. It's unfortunately lost on you. And by you, I mean the masses of us, right? Most of us see ourselves in a very helpless light, right? We feel that we are subject to what happens to us and that we can only react, right? We've all heard the old adage, you only get the hand that you're dealt. Well, folks, if you get mad and you get pissed at that hand, then smack the hand of the dealer and realize that you should be dealing the cards yourself. And ultimately we are, because even if someone attempts to influence us, right? We still, at the end of the day, have a choice as to whether or not we're going to accept that and whether or not we're going to embrace that as our reality. So at the end of the day, folks, be fearful of nothing. Understand that we control everything. And instead of choosing to reside in fear, panic, paranoia, all those low vibrational emotional states, right? Rise above that to a higher state. Choose what you're going to experience and manifest that. And ultimately, you'll find yourself in a much higher vibrational frequency state and resonate in that. All right? Remember, folks, we shouldn't be down right now. We should be celebrating because we're moving into this new